Chapter 28, the place where no one can hear you swing. Now, if the sport of golf used a seating system similar to tennis, then with my amazing abilities with the clubs, I'd be completely off the list, and covered with stickers that read, "For the love of all nearby windows, please do not plant." It's not from lack of trying though. At least twice a year, work forgets how utterly terrible and occasionally terrifying I am on the greens and invites me to play with a group of clients. Perhaps it's to make the poorly skilled clients more confident in their own abilities, after witnessing me attempt to take out a nearby innocent tree with every swing, or maybe work's just up for a laugh. But somehow I keep getting invited back time and time again to play golf. Even Dad attempted to foster a love of the sport early with a kid-sized set of golf clubs and an annual trip to the nearest open park, but that usually involved more dirt being swung in the air than actual golf equipment, so he gave up pretty quickly on that idea. From the first hole to the last, usually not the full 18 as that would take way too long, it's the same process. Draw a line of sight to where I hope the ball should go, pretend to measure for wind, swing, and watch my ball defying all of my requests and go hooking off into the nearest tree, bush, or boundary. I have one of the worst hooks in the history of this fair game, which means my shots curve more than a decent racetrack and I spend more time in places that the groundskeeper steers clear of. The upside to this, thankfully there is at least one, is that I find a ton more lost golf balls than I started with, usually at the expense of the set that I started with. So for me, a game of golf is a decent distance walk, where occasionally you try to skim grass off a nicely manicured lawn, coupled with too much time crawling through bushes and scrubland, while the rest of the team I'm playing with wait patiently nearby. Well, for the first few holes at least. Once I discover at least one lost ball I can claim as my own, and the game continues until the next shot, where I lose my ball into the scrub on the other side of the hole, and the process begins again. Par for this hole? Well, it better be in the double digits, because that's what I'm getting close to. About as fun as a history lesson in income tax. However, a couple of years ago I decided, well, technically didn't decide, more or less had to, strip away quite a few things from the historic game and found it to be far more relaxing experience that didn't have me emerging from the forest with half a tree snagged in my pants. Yes, one Christmas day, I spent the afternoon driving golf balls into the fading sunset. One man, a borrowed 3 wood, and a bag of battered golf balls, one after the other getting lost in the wilderness. What a relaxing way to unwind after Chrissy lunch and a couple of champagnes. The course was on the in-laws' farm, with plenty of acreage for my wild range of shots. The fairway was the fence. Get over the fence and consider that an incredibly accurate shot for a player of my abilities. The rough? Any count turds, fresh or crustified, and amazingly, I didn't hit a single one. The hole? Well, there was none. This took a lot of stress right out of the game, not having a single thing to aim for, or a giant expanse of land to drop a ball onto. No sand traps or water, unless there was a puddle I didn't see. Drive every ball in your collection into the sunset, and when you're done, open up a beer and wander slowly through the paddock seeing what you can find. It may or may not include lost golf balls. Find what you can, return to the tee in front of the shed, and begin again. Now, if you're thinking, wait, this is just a very cheap and nasty version of a classic driving range, well, you're close. My version has me, though, and the occasional brother-in-law who will take a couple of swings and then walk off to get another drink, so there's no noise apart from nature, and no one to see you completely misfire and take out a nearby tractor. You also don't wander onto a driving range when your bucket is empty for fear of having your skull taken off with another player's golf ball. Yes, there's a bit of walking, but nowhere near as much as a full 18 holes, and far less scrub and bushland to forage through. I also proved that this version of golf can be a very cheap game to play, as long as you're me. There's no grounds fees, no golfing lessons, as no one judges your ability out here. Forget a full bag of clubs, I only used one, due to the fact that I only had the choice of 2 in total. No hiring a caddy, no special shoes, no gloves, no hats, no pants. I didn't need a putter, again, there was no hole. There's no one behind you waiting for you to finish what you're doing. You move as fast as you like and give up when it becomes too dark to see anything anywhere. Also, when I ran out of tees, I improvised with a rubber grommet that I found lying about that did just as well. I'd like to see that level of recycling in the PGA World Tour. I really would. All was going well until a swing that would make both Tiger Woods and the United States of Swingerdom very proud pulled a muscle in my side, which brought my impromptu farm-based golf career to a crashing halt. Still, I was quite proud of my stressless efforts and the fact that I can lose a bag of golf balls faster than anyone I know. And apologies to Barry, whose field I lost them in. That really won't help come mowing time. Now, if I could just make a little bit of coin and get some sponsorship from Nike.